The following footage is from the night of July 8th, 2026. I am just about to exit the transit station on my way to work, and right as I do so, you will note that an OC Transpo employee is sent across to stand at the location across the street right where I would be crossing. So they constantly have this skit set up where right at the exact moment I arrive, as I step out of the station, they ensure that these transit employees get an alert on their phone so that they can walk across right as I'm exiting and be positioned right at the area where I would cross the street, and pretending that they have to have a smoke. So if you've seen a lot of the footage regarding these harassment campaigns, they use the fake smoking act basically as an excuse just to creepily stalk and linger at the a place where a person who's being harassed this way is going. So if this had occurred once or twice, you could definitely dismiss it. I'm talking about constantly. Right as I exit, they'll time it where the OC Transit employee goes right across to the exact location where I would cross the street and is instructed to stand there and just pretend that they have to have a smoke at the exact moment I'm exiting. It doesn't matter what time it is. I could come in 2 hours earlier. They would still have them do this. So also to validate what I'm saying, I will show a number of other occasions when the exact same thing also occurred. Well, I have a lot of footage of it occurring, but I'm not going to put it all together in this one video, but I'll show you a few more instances of it just to show there's nothing coincidental here and that they're receiving an alert to go over and do this right as I exit the station. OC Transpo employees partake in criminal stalking and harassment operation for CSIS, but they try to cloak it in plausible deniability. So this is the same thing they do with a lot of their stalkers, where they'll have them go and stand somewhere right as you're going to exit and pretend that they just had to have a smoke right at that location. It's the same situation where they have people coming out right in front of your door with a dog just as you exit. The same creepy stalking routine. So as soon as I exit, you'll see that here. And then after that, I went over to the side and kind of waited for his stupid skit to end. He eventually went back over. Then I walked over to the side, noticing that there was another OC Transpo vehicle with an employee in it, just sitting there doing nothing for ages. So I just recorded that for a bit at a distance. And then they have this family of surveillance role players. Now, I know it's hard for some people to believe, but CSIS trains entire families in these operations, and it's basically just putting on an act. So at the same location where the transit employee had been sent to linger right at the exact location where I would have to cross the street, this family comes over, and they bring their kid too. First they pretend to be looking around and pointing, which is part of the act that they're told to do, and then they just stand there at the location across the street and just idle there pretending to be staring out at the road. So these are the types of skits that I go through all the time as I'm just trying to get to work, and CSIS trains these people in these operations, and it's so that the subject of the harassment will see it and know that it's intentional. But because CSIS deceives and lies about everything they do, they have to try to cloak it in plausible deniability, so it won't look like the people are just there to stalk you. So it's basically street theater, and but you'll notice how obvious it is, because they go across right to that same location where the transit employee had also been sent to just stand there right at the place where I would cross the street. So doing the creepy lookout routine while trying to make it look like they're just, somehow there naturally. And also, again, they use their child in this operation. These people are very sick that they use. They train their children to partake in these operations. Not only that, they train their children to normalize spying on their neighbors, lying and deceiving on behalf of the state. This is a full-blown communist system in Canada. The exact same routines as what you would have in China or in the Soviet Union. The exact same things are going on. The only difference is they're not using brutal violence and force to oppress people. Instead, they're using wide-scale deceit and criminal operations like what CSIS is involved in. So you'll see here again, they're using this family and, of course, using the transit employees to partake in the harassment campaign. And you'll see the footage here. Look at this, huh? Oh, my goodness. up in a hippie attire, costume. Pretend it's 1962. Ironically, the hippies themselves were nothing but a psyop anyway, run by the CIA. Oh boy. So, got our people in hippie costumes tonight. And let's see over here. I think that white car is probably still there. I'll just go over. I don't care. Oh, transit employee. As soon as I come across, as soon as I exit, transit employee goes across to stand there where I would cross. I just want to show you from here. So as soon as I come down, this is timed. This is an OC Transpo employee here, being instructed to stand there. See, that's right where I'd cross. So they have them right on cue. Fucking son of a bitch. Fuck you. Yeah. Let's get you on camera, you scumbag. Where is it now? Right there. And this too. Right there. So this is as soon as I've exited. It's an OC Transpo employee being sent over to stand on the opposite side of the street. I'm also recording it with my phone so he'll see it. This happens constantly right when I exit. He's an OC Transpo employee who's smoking right next to the sign where it says there's a fine for smoking on the property. And they have this all the time, constantly, as soon as I exit. So he works, let me just, I'm also recording with my glasses here too, but I'm holding the phone up just so he'll see it. So as soon as I came down, they had it timed so that he'd go over and stand there. So you can see him there. That's right at the location where I would cross, where the OC Transpo creep has been told to stand and smoke on a property where there's a sign right next to him on the right that clearly indicates there's a fine for smoking and for going onto the property there. Because CSIS has enlisted many of the stalking transit employees to partake in their criminal harassment routines and to set up provocation skits and attempt to send a message to the subject of the harassment campaign that they are being stalked, watched, and monitored everywhere they go, they instruct these employees to completely ignore the no smoking sign and to go over to stand at that same location with precise timing, both when I am arriving at night and when I am coming back to the station in the morning. Moving ahead a few minutes in the footage, here you will see an example of how CSIS and the Canadian communitarian system train entire families to take part in these stalking and fake surveillance skits. The key to this deceitful aspect is the specific training these people are given in putting on acts to deceive in order to attempt to create plausible deniability for their participation in stalking and doing illegal surveillance on anyone whom the Canadian communitarian state has deemed guilty of Orwellian wrongthink. Another reason why the deceitful, dishonorable criminals with CSIS exploit families who have also trained their children in these communistic fraudulent surveillance skits is because if they know that someone who they are targeting is filming these activities, they can use this as an excuse to create slander by claiming that the subject of their harassment is filming an innocent family who are just out for a walk. The inversion and gaslighting techniques that CSIS trains its associates to employ when partaking in these operations require them to always attempt to falsify and invert their own actions to cast blame on the victim. The viewer will note that as this family exits the station, they begin putting on the usual routine of doing the act where they start pointing at things all around them. This is part of the acting routine that they are trained in. Then, as I noticed that they had been sent out to move along behind me just as I had started to proceed across the street to continue on my way to work after that creepy stalking transit employee had finished his pre-planned provocation skit, I went back to wait for them to pass on out of the area. At this point, the man brings his wife and child over to stand at the exact same location where those giving them instructions knew I would be crossing the street, and they just idle there pointing out at the street, purposefully lingering at the exact location where they know I have to cross to get to where I'm going. You will notice how unnatural this act is and how they just stop to linger there and pretend to stare out at the road and keep pointing at nothing in particular. This is just so that I will see that they have been instructed to go over and linger there to stalk and do surveillance as I attempt to travel to work. way too. And then on this side here. Let's see, down on this side here. Yeah, another one following in there. And the one on the bicycle over here. They're gonna cross right where I'm going to. Pointing, the fake pointing skit here. Now let's just stand around and point again, let's point somewhere. Oh, gee, let's look around. Wow. I've never seen a train before. Circle back around and get more of this creep here. Sees this creep coming here, of course. Another knapsack there, knapsack number 560 tonight. Suddenly they got all the surveillance role players on this side here. And this is more stupid acting here. This one pulls over here just to sit here as well. And then the OC Transpo employee still sitting there getting paid to do nothing. It's just setting up fake surveillance. That's why he's here, actually. Oh, he's moving, finally. Finally. That's another hard night's work there, isn't it, for him? And here comes another one of the fully competent cleaners here who stands around staring at their phones all night. We'll just make our way down here. That's the cleaning crew coming in there. Looks like they got a vehicle waiting down here. Let's take a look. Oh, so look at this now, okay? So as I come back around waiting to cross, these same individuals have just been told to go across and stand there, right where I would cross, and stare out at the street. And they're of course they're exploiting their child in this activity too. So you see where they're standing. That's right where I would cross. So first it's the OC Transpo employee. I go over here just for a little bit of time to kill some time. I come back, and then you got this here, right where I would cross the street. Okay, you see where they are, where they're positioned. That thing behind them's a bike rack. So they've just been told. You saw initially when these individuals came out, the guy's like pretending to be disoriented and pointing up at the the train there. Now they've been instructed to go across and stand on the opposite side of the street, and right where I would cross, and just stare across. Notice this? And then you got this too. And then after you, if you were to pass them there, where they're standing to do fake surveillance right where I would cross the street, after the transit employee who was already doing the same thing over there with the fake smoking act right as I arrived, if you were to walk, look at this, and they bring their kid over too to do these things. What a freaking... And then here's some creep junkie walking off the with his camouflage pants on. So notice this is also... Just watch this. Okay. So first you got the transit employee. Literally as soon as I come out, and I have a lot of footage of that happening right when I get here at all different times. It doesn't matter when it is. So I go over there to wait. They send these people, this family here, over here, just to stand there where I would cross the street. And look what they're doing. They're just standing there looking out at the street. Told. Dress in your knapsack, Mr. Somali with the phone. stare around disoriented. So look at this here. Now they're still pointing across. Look at this, man. So first, as soon as I come out, they got the OC Transpo employee going to stand there and do a smoking act. These individuals, they're using their own child in this thing too, exploiting their child. Now, who would do that? What they're doing now, you know what I mean? He comes across, stops right where I would. This is obviously, as you can see, it's where I have to cross the street. And just so you know, I'm not purposefully recording this person's kid. The kid, they're exploiting their own child in this operation. Anyone can see that. This is an act they've been told to put on. They waited there just after. To provide more evidence of the creepy stalking assignments that these OC Transpo employees are sent to do right when I arrive and right when I leave, I will show a number of clips from previous times when I was exiting the station. Now, in this next one coming up, you'll see right as I come through the doors, immediately, as soon as I exit, right away, the OC Transit employee goes walking across to stand at the precise location where they know I would be crossing the street, to just linger there and put on this act where he has to have a smoke right at the exact location where I'd be crossing, right at the exact moment when I come out of the station. Then we'll move along and show you other instances of the exact same thing happening over and over, just so you'll see it's not any random coincidence, and they're sent an alert to go over and do this, and it's part of the creepy stalking routine that CSIS enlists these people to partake in, and it's a provocation skit, because they know that I'll recognize it for what it is, and that it's part of attempting to provoke reactions, and also just sending them there to linger right where I would cross, to let me know that there's illegitimate surveillance and stalking going on literally everywhere I go. So they routinely use these transit employee creeps to do this thing, this fake smoking act. And these people seem to have no capacity for thinking or questioning any of these things. They'll just do exactly what they're told, almost like slaves. It's very bizarre. Like, any sensible person you would think they would question that and say, why would I do something like that, right? What purpose does it serve? Anyone who could think critically would not agree to do something like this, but obviously you know that the caliber of people that they're using in these operations, and most of them lack empathy, and they enjoy tormenting and ridiculing people and partaking in just these really creepy and sick things that they do. So at any rate, here you'll see as soon as I exit, one of them goes over to stand there and put on the fake surveillance skit at the exact same location, and then I'll show you a couple more clips of the same thing happening after that. Okay, you see that there? So before we go, hold on, let me just show you this. They got that, the transit employee going over to stand there. So the second I come out, as you can see, the second I come out, he's going over to stand there to buy the bike rack and linger. So this is literally the second I arrived, as you can see. That's the OC Transpo person who's been told to stand there. That's why I would cross the street. I just want to show you from here. That's why I would cross the street there, so he's been told to come across. There's no one else here, as you can see. So they instruct him to go over and stand there a lot of times right as I get here on the opposite side of the street. OC Transpo takes part in the harassment constantly as well, the people who work here. So CSIS has them doing that. So just as I get here, again, let's go one more time. I'm just going to show you. He's told to stand there right where I would cross the street, as you can see here, right? I'm just going to give you... Just standing there, and then the siren as I get out as well. That he works for OC Transpo, the guy there, who's been told to just stand there. And again, being instructed to do creepy assignments here. As soon as I look at here, nothing here, right? No one over here hardly. And he goes there and stands where I would cross the street. I'm going to turn around and go this way. Let me just give you a glance of this here. So when you see up here, right before I go, there's no one walking down there. When I come up from here, you can hear the sirens that just came out there too. When I go down the trail here, you can see he's still standing there. Now, there's nowhere else he can go but to stand right where I would cross the street. This heavyset guy, and as soon as I came out, he went over there to do that. So just, you see that. if you think it's coincidental. Now, if I come at a different time, if I come an hour before, they'll send somebody to do the same thing. So I'm going to go down this way. As you see, there's nothing down here, and the police are blaring sirens down there as well, where I would go for nothing, blaring sirens for nothing. Car pulling out now. Not many people down there. Nonsense we have. Oh yeah, they got the transit employees standing there as I come down. Putting on this act. Let me take a look down here. Oh, actually, if I do go that way, let me just see here. Before I go, let me take a look down here and so same as last week. They had this oaf. One of these oafs go over there and just stand there. You're not supposed to smoke there. There's a no smoking sign there, but they go over there and stand there and smoke. They're breaking the rules. They're at OC Transpo, low IQ thugs that get paid to do nothing. Yeah, see, this way they got somebody moving down that way. So we'll just wait till their stupid charade is over. Last week too, right on cue as they come down. It's not the same time either when I'm arriving this time. They just get told to go over and stand there. It's just absolutely stupid, but we'll just wait. Right next to where they are, if you see that bike, that's not a bus shelter, it's a bike rack. There's a sign on the bike rack that says no smoking. They go over there, break the rule, and just stand there and smoke. Because there's nowhere else they could go, anywhere up there or anywhere like that. It's just a stupid act. And as you can see, they're positioned right where I would cross the street. Now, when I look down from up there, they weren't over there either. So they've just come out there now since I've come down. It's just the usual BS nonsense. Anyway, we'll just wait. See how long that goes on for. And that side, yeah, there was somebody walking up that way on the left, it looked like. Back there, they don't have anyone positioned there tonight, and then we get the usual CSIS group coming out here. It's already the worst transit service you'll ever experience anywhere, and this is what the employees do. They just stand there and get paid to do nothing. But this is, as you can see, it coincides exactly with when I come down, because when I looked up from up there, the footage that I caught, I briefly looked down there, they weren't there. So they just went over there now, just the moment I come outside here. And it's not always the same time when I'm arriving too, so they have this stupidity to correspond. You'll see where they're standing, that's right where I would cross the street. So these are OC Transpo employees. They use them all the time, these harassment campaigns too. Empty-headed people who do whatever they're told like slaves. Now as they go back over, you'll probably see some constable pull up or some stupidity like that. It's the same nonsense every night. The following footage is from June 19th, 2026, As you will see, it is the exact same pre-planned scenario where the transit employee provocateur is sent to go over to the exact location where they know I have to go to cross the street with precise timing just as I am crossing the street. While I usually try to avoid having any contact or communication with the provocateurs who they send to do these provocation skits, on this occasion I couldn't resist pointing out to the stalker that there is a no smoking sign and a warning of a $5,000 fine posted right where he was going to trespass and break the rules by smoking.
Have to be pretty quick. Right now, rain's still coming down. Yeah, let's see if the constable pulls out as well when I leave. He or she was over in the far corner there. No one there on that side now. 2 actors on this side, straight ahead. It's coming down though. Heavy. I don't want to stand around tonight. It's true. They'll probably have that guy. Let's see if they have that guy going into the gates. This morning they had him there just as my oh no, sorry. Yeah, exactly. Right on cue. Notice right as I get it. Oh, hold on. There's a sign that says smoke-free property. My goodness. And there's an OC Transpo employee smoking on the property. Go figure. Is he going to smoke? I just want to see. Is he going to smoke? Yeah, he is. He's going to smoke on the smoke-free property. Interesting, huh?
This isn't part of the property, huh?
There's a sign right there that says smoke-free property. Bud. $5,000 fine, it says on the sign.
However,
Yeah, you were late with it tonight. A little bit late. Tonight.
And the following footage is from August 29th, 2025 at approximately 9:45 p.m. and you'll see the exact same routine here. So I come out of the station. It doesn't matter what time I arrive. If I arrive at 9:45, they'll do the same routine. If I arrive at 10:30, they'll do the same routine. And then when I'm leaving, coming back, they'll send them to stand over there a lot of times too in the same location as my documentation shows. And it's just about having them creepily linger there at the exact location where I would cross the street. And it's meant so that I'll see it and so that I'll know it's being done as part of this illegitimate surveillance, aka harassment routine. So the date and time indicated by the camera glasses are not accurate here. It is August 29th, 2025 at approximately around between 9:45 and 9:46 p.m. And you'll see the exact same routine with the transit employee being sent to stand at that exact same location just as I come out. Starting another hard shift of standing around smoking and wheezing. I got one of these fucking douchebags standing inside the bike rack tonight. And just see what time it is. That's one of these OC Transpo. Just want to see from here, yeah. Oh no, that's actually just a random person who's been told to go and stand there. Or is it? No, that's an OC Transpo. Told to stand over there. It's always when I arrive too. Scumbags. Stand here. You'll hear more people coming by and making fake coughing noise. See where they positioned him. That's a bike rack, right?
That's a bike rack there, and he just goes over and stands there. No one else is around here, as you can see. He's been told to go over and stand there because they know that's where I'm going to cross the street. So OC Transpo sends these people over there just to stand there and linger there to attempt to intimidate. It's just a fucking act too. Like, you can see he's staring back and forth at the phone. The smoke is just a prop. So.
This next clip is from the night of July 15th, 2026, and starts at the point where I have just arrived at the station where I always get off on my way to work. After exiting the train, I go over to the window to look down, and the viewer will note that at that point there is no one standing at that location directly across the street where they know I regularly go to cross. Yet, as soon as I exit the station, like clockwork, the staged provocation skit with the transit employee being sent over to creepily linger on the opposite side of the street begins. Now this part is important, so as I get off the train I often go over here just to look across the street and to get a little bit of footage to see what's going on down below. You can see here as I'm looking out, there's no one over there standing there yet, right? Now watch as I come down and I'm about, right as I come out of the station, you'll see they're going to send the transit employee across to stand there right on cue. And it doesn't matter what time I arrive, if I was to arrive an hour earlier than this or a half an hour to 40 minutes later than this, they send them over with precision because they receive an alert on their phone to go over and creepily linger there, and they use the smoking for plausible deniability the same way they do throughout these stalking routines with CSIS. They set it up that way so it makes you think that, to those who don't know, it looks like the person's just having a smoke, but you can see how they're sent over there with precision right as I leave and right as I arrive, regardless of what time I arrive. So as I'm looking down now, you can see there's no one over there at the moment, and watch as I come down how they send the transit employee to stand right at the location where they know I have to go to cross the street. And it's all part of these creepy stalking and provocation routines that they've been doing for years. I'm also going to release a compilation showing you how precisely these activities are timed and how they've been doing these exact same provocation and stalking routines for years, using these OC Transpo transit employees to do these things.
No, watch this, see transit employee coming over here. Watch this. I want to get this for the compilation. He's going to go over there right to that location right. Okay, watch as I exit. Watch this. Now this will be for the compilation that I already have. Watch how this is timed. So you can see he was just coming down there right as I'm exiting now. And then they got one position there in case I go that way, you'll notice. Just staring at the dark, empty pathway. Right here as I get here. Okay? Right here as I get here. Date is July 15th, 2026 at 10:08 p.m. As soon as I get here. The exact same thing. Okay? Now when I look down from the window, he was just preparing to come over there, right? So they're tracking my movements. It's the same act. I'll just show you from here. So this is OC Transpo again, being instructed to partake in these skits. And they purposefully use people who smoke, and they tell them to go over there and stand. That's right where I would cross the street, as you can see. So when I was coming down, right as I was coming down, as I was getting close to coming down, he's getting the alert over there, and then he starts walking over right away. So that just as I come out, he's over. He's been told to walk over here and stand here. It doesn't matter what time I show up. If I show up at like an hour later, if I'm running late, they tell them to do the same thing, same act. So you'll see this in the larger compilation that I have put together of these creeps. And then if I take an alternate route and go around, if I leave and I go around that way, come up from the field and come down the pathway, so I could go down way down there, come around, come up here, then they have them follow along the pathway, going all the way off the property just to follow and stalk people. It's all about provocation. You'll see in the other clip, the two of them, right as I get there, they start grinning at me, hoping to provoke a reaction. They're just, these are some of the most mindless people you'll ever come across. That's why the state uses them in activities like this. And so again, he has to stand there and do lookout right at the precise location where I would cross the street, right as I arrive. So it was timed right for my arrival. He's going right across there just as I'm getting on the stairs to come down. And I picked some of that up. They're trained in these activities. The transit employees all take part in these harassment skits. And so just to add this to the compilation, you can see it doesn't matter what time I show up here, right? And it's timed right. I looked down. You could see he was making his way from right over there. He was holding up a phone first, looking at a phone. So he received the alert that I was going to exit. And then he comes over here. And they do it this way to cloak it in plausible deniability. There's a sign right there, over to his right, that says no smoking here, $5,000 fine if you're caught smoking. He goes over and smokes anyway, just to put on the act that he's been told to do. Okay, right as I arrive, just so he can stand there, the place where I'm going to cross. So we have a lot of footage of this, and then these transit employees, they use them all the time to do. Now he's standing there where I would cross, so I have to go along there. Now they just got him idling there. This ended again. It doesn't matter if you brought in here. They train you to do these things, just to, you know, who wouldn't question doing things like that, right? Who wouldn't question that? This guy, and all the others who they have. They're just mindless people, greedy, selfish. They'll harass anyone for money, childlike minds. And there he goes. He's got another hard night of staring at a phone all night and standing there doing nothing. That's why they have the worst transit service in any developed country, by far. There it is, I'm crossing. Transit employee. Timing. Yeah. It's a little late with that one. Then I would just stand there today, as usual. Yeah. It's a little late, a little off with the timing. Notice it? Yeah. They send them over there when I'm lot of times when I'm arriving or when I'm leaving. Check it out. Watch the timing here. He's gonna cross over and stand right here. This OC Transpo guy. Check the timing out here. Yeah. Same guy as before too. Watch how fast he's going too. To time it. Rushes across right as I get here. Exact same timing. You'll see the other footage of that guy too. It's exactly right as I get there. And he had a rush there to make it so it was precise. At least, it's just a black car. Looks like an unmarked police car, but I'm not sure. Kind of looked like one. Alright, what do we have today? I don't think I'm going to get the 59 today, but you never know. So, vehicle. Yeah, what did I say? Rasputin. Oh, look at this. Check this out. Right as I arrive. Check the timing out of this here, okay? Yeah, so check the timing out. It's an act as well. And let's see. Like I said, he's going over there too. This looks to be just a guard or something. So the other day when I left at 11 p.m., 4 hours later, he also went over right at that time. So I can see him over there today, yeah.
And this next clip that you're about to see is from October 16th, 2025, and it starts at 7:07 a.m. And again, you'll see a different time that I'm exiting. A different time that I'm arriving at that location. So I had left work just a short time ago, and I'm walking up back to the same area to cross to the train station. And you'll immediately see again 2 OC Transpo employees being sent to stand over there. Sent over there just as I'm arriving, and then instructed to do the fake smoking act. And this one's much more blatantly obvious because you'll see they look directly at me and are grinning too. So this is just to try to evoke some angry response because they know that I know it's being done intentionally and it's part of this creepy stalking routine that CSIS sends them to do, and it's a provocation skit. So you'll see they both look directly toward me and they're grinning creepily at me, hoping that I'll say something or, get angry with them, and so they can provoke some sort of reaction. So you can clearly see this is being done intentionally, and notice the precise timing that they're being sent over there again. This happens both when I arrive, regardless of what time I arrive at night, and when I'm coming back in the morning at all different times. So it's set up, and they get an alert on their phone to go over there right when I'm about to get there, so they can linger right where I'm going to cross.
Some guy coming through there now. Oh, it's one of those it's one of the OC Transpo. He's going to stand there and do his smoke just as I leave. They often have them do that. I haven't seen that guy, the Rasputin guy, the bearded guy. Maybe that's him there. 2 of them going over there at the precise timing as I leave. If you look here, you'll see there's no one else around. And they time it so that just as I leave, they're going over there to stand there. I'll show you. I don't know if that's that Rasputin guy with the beard. They used to use him semi-regularly, but I hadn't seen him in a number of months. So they're going to do the act today. You notice the one guy crossed precisely too as I got there. The guy on the right. What's the stupid, goofy nod from the one weasel there with the beard? Both looking directly at me too, as you can see here. I noticed the one with the beard looks directly at me, like nods. They get sent over there just as I leave. I'll show you here on the side here. Looks at me and smirks and nods because he gets sent there right as I leave work. He gets sent to stand there when I'm passing. Those are OC Transpo employees too. No, he's leaving right. He just came. He literally just went there just the moment as I left there. It's the moment I showed up.
The following clip is a more recent one from June 23rd, 2026. On this day I took an alternate, slightly longer route to get to the train station after leaving work. Yet despite the fact that I've taken a different route, you will still see one of the creepy stalking OC Transpo employees being sent to walk down along the pathway to show up as I'm heading down toward the station. Here he isn't even on the property of the station, but rather he is specifically being sent to walk past me along the pathway as I take an alternate route to avoid the usual provocation skits that they set up when I take my regular route.
OC Transpo, are they sending him to patrol the pathway here? Where's he going? Is he going to go up there and turn? They just sent him probably to walk down here when I'm coming, I think, most likely. Because if you cross the other way, they send them to go over and have a fake smoke there. They can't smoke here, though. Well, actually, I think you probably could here in the park. Maybe you could. Anyway.